Okay. We're on. Okay.
Yep. It's just me and you. It's welcome to the Nobody Cares show.
That's right. This is the one where we could get into trouble and not even know it. So
no
welcome.
one's going to see this.
This is the day they let the insane asylum inmates run the asylum, and that's us, right? We're the guys. We're going to run it. We're going to do this thing, and we might run it into the ground, and you guys all get to see.
Well, we weren't given direction.
We weren't given direction. We just came and said, go do magic, go talk magic, and have fun. And I'm trying not to drool over my cool cards. Everyone go get cards.
I know, I got mine right here.
Everyone go get them. Yeah. All right. That's good. That's good. I definitely want more.
Yeah.
I want more cards, man.
You know, I got to tell you, I really enjoyed them. It's not just, they are actually good.
Yeah, I wish I was, doing a commercial for them. I mean, they really are the card that I love. They have every aspect of what I love about cards. Because when I was a kid, I had a dream. I remember finding B cards because I was learning moves, and those were the cards that were the most resilient for doing a lot of the hardcore moves. But if you play with any of the reverse card stuff with a B stock, you can see that a card's reversed in there because it's that all over back design. It's like, if they only made one with a white border, it would be. Then casinos started doing them with white borders, so I knew it was possible, and I found some out there. But that was the ideal card, and then it was that what were those the Richard Turner decks?
Oh yeah,
those bicycles with the B stock, and that reverse cuts, you get the perfect Pharaoh and all that. Those were pretty great, but I haven't pulled those out since I got these. These genuinely are my favorite cards, and. It's like when you get some of those cool old back designs, like this is one of those ones that I just look at the back design, just look at it because it's so cool to look at. And I just love that's the thing I'm holding in my hands, and it's wonderful. I don't want to gush too much because I don't want you to think it's contrived, but I really do love the cards. I think they're so good.
Yeah. Do you know sometimes there's a back design that's not right and it just looks fake?
Yeah. Totally.
You know what I mean? It just looks fake. And these don't have that. That's the thing. That was my initial apprehension to them before I got my hands on it. It's just like, it's going to look like a weird thing.
I've bumped into some of these. I think there's one that I had that at a glance, it looked like it was going to be one of those ones that you would love like this. But then like when I had it in my hands, I was like, I hate this card. It's too clunky. It's too blocky. Like it had a lot of these elements around the scroll work on the sides here, in this back design, but it missed all the intricacy in the middle. And I think that's, one of the things that's beautiful about a back design is that you have all these intricate things happening in the pattern. And when it's just these big overt things, like I think it was like a bike was sitting sideways, like right there. It's like, I don't know. It's not a beautiful card. And I really it took me a few days and I was like, I'm going to put these in the box and probably not take them out again for a while. And I don't think I have since, other than to just look at them and maybe use them as like a stranger card or a card in like a rainbow deck because it's another weird back, right? But yeah, I'm with you.
So it just said messages. The guy said it funded in 5 minutes.
Wow. We did
kind of what I thought would happen.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of thought.
Yep.
You won't be hey, anyone who ordered decks, man, we've had them for a couple of weeks at least, and you will not be disappointed. You won't be.
Hey, Newell, that double that Aaron's doing is great. What it really comes down to is figuring out what to do with your hand, and it comes down to that first finger. If you can get the break under the double like that, and you can sort of isolate it with that pinky, then that's it, right? It's really about moving that finger like that, and then you can pinch the thing in place with that second finger, so you can get the double, right? But I have been working on it, and I think that it's pretty great in the right place. It's a pretty great double lift. So
let me
keep at it. There's definitely value in using that thing. It's a great move.
Hang on here. We're gonna have to send the link out there, buddy. Hold on here.
Okay.
Now that didn't work like they done said it would.
You broke it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he said that this would be the link. And by golly, it sure doesn't look like it is. Oh, I guess it is. I'm just...
There it is. Kickstarter.
Oh, I found it. Did someone put the link in already by the time I got there?
I wonder how those uncut sheets are going. I know that's like one of the premium items. I wonder if those are all evaporated by now. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but it appears that. Let's see. Okay.
9 of 40 left. Thanks, Jeff. Nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
9 of 40 left. That's crazy. That's blowing my mind. Right on. Well, that speaks to people loving that back design enough that they want to frame that thing. That's great.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, and I know you know this, but there's no way this club could have had a deck like this, right? Without having to get some help from Kickstarter.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, it's not the reality is all those decks that are coming out. I mean, I didn't realize it, but all of these decks that are coming out, they're not done on that web press, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're done on a lower level press, and they're only doing a couple thousand decks. It's a finite amount. It's not the same stock. They may be beautiful cards, they may be beautiful designs, but I mean, if you're doing any sort of heavy sleight of hand with the stuff, those cards take a beating, and they have a shelf life. They only last so long before those cards just can't take it anymore, and you start to see they're taking the load. Crimps don't go away. You see the things start to just bow in the wrong direction, all that kind of stuff. And that that may be cool to have a cool back design, but then it becomes like it's a display piece. And maybe if you're not using it to do like shifts and palms, and you're doing all these things where you might be bending the cards in some way, if you're just doing like a lot of the cardistry stuff where the cards are just flying around in packets and that sort of thing, those decks may be just fine for that. But for the stuff that I'm doing, I need a robust card, So yeah. I've always resisted on all those. And I've had a handful of them gifted to me, and I've bought a couple just because I like them, but I don't ever open the cellophane. I just want to look at them, and that's about it.
So I did a wedding on Saturday night.
That's right. You mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really the first time I've been out in a while, And so I just, even though I had these, I just set up everything I do with, how I normally do with red bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of working the room a little bit, and I switched up, and I saw these in there. So I grabbed these, and I went to my B set, which I don't sign anything in.
Great.
And I immediately noticed that the other cards were like wilting. It wasn't really hot, but it wasn't like that real cold air. There was humidity in the air. And I was changing bikes because they were wilting. And these, I finished out the gig with them, and they just stayed pretty strong,
Yeah,
so,
man. I find those regular bicycles, like the ones you just, buy the brick of, like a Costco or the grocery store, like those, they last me like an hour. If I'm really working and doing magic, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. I'm like, I think this deck has had its run, and I'm toss it out. Or if you can, gift it to someone, because I just
leave them on tables.
It looks like so much more than it is, because to you, it's like a tissue, right? Like, I'm going to throw this $1 away, right?
Yeah,
and that to someone,
exactly.
Like, a deck of cards.
Yeah, exactly. That's the truth. It's like, usually when I do a gig, I'll do about 3 decks of bikes in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm also signing stuff. So
right, you're signing and folding, and the cards are getting thinner as you're moving along.
But still, about three an hour. Sometimes 2 if I'm like slugging, loafing, like I'm not like trying to get to every single person as fast as I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Newell says it's 100 degrees and humid here at the beach.
Nice.
He opened some Turners, and now they're toast.
Good for you. Oh yeah, well that happens. Yeah, don't try to open them on an airplane; they'll get ruined there too. It's the worst.
You were gonna say, buddy, I cut you off there because you know what? This is completely unscripted.
Yeah. We have no plan. There is no script. There's no outline. There's no nothing. It's just us hanging. I was gonna say we're dealing with the heavy smoke up here because we got the fires, and it's.
Oh yeah.
It looks like it's snowing outside because there's so much ash.
How close to you?
There's ash all over the cars, on the tables, outside. It's crazy because Napa's, just an hour and a half away, and they're on fire, and there's other places around us that are on fire, and it's craziness, with all the stuff that's going on top of it, right? So it's yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry, Larry. He's just 8 miles away from there. Yeah, stay inside, guys. Stay inside. It's bad air. It's definitely just, I feel it in my lungs if I go stand outside even for like a minute.
Wow, really?
Oh, this is bad. Yeah, the air, it's just stinky. It's orange outside. It's orange and snowing ash.
Oh.
Yeah, horrible. So
it seems like wherever you live, there's something.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
Which are bad. Like my other house got hit by a tornado.
Wow.
It was pretty.
You just had fire tornadoes. That's pretty interesting.
Fire tornadoes are definitely next level right there. That's next level. It's pretty awesome. I might trade them in. I mean, that's pretty awesome when you get down there.
It's cool to see from a distance. It's not cool to have it come near you.
It's just a tick lower than a Sharknado. Just one tick lower. What do we got today, buddy?
Let's get into this. We have today we have a couple of genuine card experts that were such great card experts that basically there was film, right? This isn't video. This isn't like a talk show, right? This is filmed footage of these guys doing this stuff and they were promo things, but these were the best card guys at the time doing some of the most wonderful card moves that you can do in an expose fashion to show that they were just basically badasses with cards, right? So
exactly.
Let's do this one. Let's go to this first one. This guy was actually the first, I think, probably the only, if not one of maybe a handful of he was the house magician at the Magic Castle when they opened. He was that good that they just said, you just need to be the ambassador for the Magic Castle, until they started bringing in talent and doing the whole thing, and it became what we know the Magic Castle as now. But J.O.C. was such a likable guy that they chose him to be the house magician of the Magic Castle. That's pretty wonderful. So let's get into this. We have the J.O.C. cut is pretty great, right? Let's see. Let's do this. Let's watch J.O.C. here, the Cincinnati Kid. You can see this?
Because magician and one-time gambler J.O.C. was hired as technical advisor to teach the intricacies of poker playing to Miss Joan Blondell, and later to the other stars in the film, Steve McQueen, Edward G. Robinson, Anne Margaret, Carl Malden, and Tuesday Weld.
Now it's important that you use the proper grip in holding these cards. So hold them in your left hand like this.
I love the way
That's right. Now, your thumb is in this position, deals one card to Edward G., the next card to Steve McQueen. Then your hands turn up like this, and you turn the next card face up. That's right. And the next card face up. Now you dealt them honestly. But if you were to deal them dishonestly, it would look exactly the same way.
It would?
Mm-hmm.
Show me.
I'll put all the black ones over here together, and all the reds I will turn face down. Now watch this very closely. The cards go in like this. They're pushed right through and pulled out this end. Now you are ready for the second shuffle. This is just the opposite, but it looks as though they actually go right in there.
Are those foil cards?
Now the cut. Watch this cut. Yet, they are right back as they were, the blacks and the reds. Now, Joan, I want to show you something about card control. I'll use this ace of spades to demonstrate. I'll place the ace of spades on top of the deck. And this type of a shuffle is known as the overhand shuffle. Now, with all this shuffling, I still have the ace of spades on top of the deck. Now, if I wanted to deal that ace of spades to myself, this is the way I would do it. I would deal to you first, and then to myself. Now, you see, I have the ace of spades. Now, I'm going to show you how I did that. I'll take the second card out like this, and you can see the second card coming out. And the ace of spades stays right where it is, on top of the deck.
So good.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do a little card trick for you, Joan. Using some of the methods that I've just shown you. See? Would you select any card from in here? And don't let me see it. I'll turn around. Just show it to the viewing audience.
Got it.
All right, now put it down in front of you, face down, and put 3 fingerprints in the center of the card. And now, put the card back into the deck. See if you can catch what I'm doing. I have already controlled your card somewhere near the top. Now I can say definitely that's not the card. This isn't the card. This is the card right here. Am I correct?
No.
This is not the card. What was your card?
5 of clubs.
That's what I said. the 5 of clubs.
Between scenes.
You know, JOC is a guy you hear a lot about, you know, and then to actually be able to see him, then that looked a little grainy there, but when you watch it online, it's much better.
Yeah, I had it pretty big when we're blowing that up. It's gonna, it's gonna.
I mean, when he's doing those seconds, man, you're just like, it's pretty strong. Yeah. That's the kind of thing I love. I love the way he talks. Now, see, look at the cards here. See, I love that.
And that horn music's going the whole time.
Oh,
It's the time, right? It's the time. He's that guy.
It's so great.
And that double lift was crazy, huh? That's definitely like an old school double lift that he's doing, right?
He's just like, I mean, it's just pretty awesome stuff.
On the inside and like doing this thing, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, man.
It is pretty crazy, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's old school. Definitely an old school thing. Wow. Yeah, I love it. And there really wasn't much stuff that was published by Jay. Like he had that cut. Those, you know, it was mentioned earlier in the chat. That JOC cut is, if you don't know about the JOC cut, it's really one of the great false cuts because it shouldn't work, right? Go look in the back room, go check it out. It's pretty wonderful thing. We definitely have discussed it a few times in the community. But yeah, I mean, he was just a performer. He was a guy that performed all the great tricks, and as you can see, he was a likable guy working with stars, right? Wonderful.
Yeah. How great would it be to like just sit at a table with a guy like you know, with him or who do we have coming next? That's really the one, I think.
Yeah, that's the one I'd want to sit at the table with.
Yeah, that's the one I'd really want to sit at the table with.
Let me see. Let's get this one queued up here, and let's get this one is this is great. All right, let me share the screen here. We'll get some audio, and let's go.
Uh-oh, don't end the meeting.
Yeah, I know. I think it's trying to kick me out. There's some weirdness that's going on there. Let me make this big here. You can see it there.
Yeah.
We saw that dialogue box, so we're in. All right, let's do this thing.
There's a ripple in the force today.
John Scarney, the great John Scarney.
Oh.
Gambling could cost you money, especially when it's crooked. Fours of a kind are powerful hands in poker, but they always lose to a royal flush. And the royal flush in this case is held by John Scarney, America's leading exposer of dishonest gambling. Like an athlete, Scarney keeps in training, but all his skill lies in his fingers and finesse. He's mastered every card. 13 spades remain on the top of the deck. Now you can watch in slow motion. Once more, the 13 spades are on the top of the deck, just where he wants them to be when he's through shuffling. As the cards merge, it looks on the level. But notice what happens now. The cards are pulled through and come out on the other side exactly as they went in. This is called the pull-through. It can easily be mastered, and it looks exactly like the real thing, as though there really was an honest shuffle. Of course, we know it wasn't honest at all, thanks to the camera. Plus the fact that 13 spades that went in at the top just shouldn't come out the same way. Here again, you see that pull-through shuffle. It looks honest, but it should warn you not to play with total strangers. Another trick of the card shark. He takes the 4-8s, puts them on top of the deck, and cuts the cards. When he deals, there are the 4-8s, which should have been in the middle of the pack. To show you how smooth he is, Scarney does it again, this time with the 8s face up.
That is such a slick move.
Let's watch this in slow motion. The 4-8s go on top of the deck. Then notice that as he draws out the bottom half of the deck, his fingers spread to put the top supposedly on the bottom. But wait a minute. This means that there was never really a change at all. The cut took place all right, but the cards were switched right back to where they started. Gamblers call this illegal sleight of hand cut switching. It is an extra fine method of cheating, used when a card sharp is not working with an accomplice and has to rely on his own ingenuity. Another thing to guard against is the lone crook who deals from the bottom. First, he stacks the deck to put the cards he wants on the bottom. Then he deals out the hands, dealing only to himself from the bottom and giving himself the 4 big aces, of course. Looking up through a glass-top table, we can see how it's done. Notice again that he uses just half of the deck. According to Scarney, this is a tip-off to this cheating maneuver. This is not to say that highly trained card sharps can't deal from the bottom with an entire deck. It's just that a half pack makes it easier. When the deck is thin, it's almost impossible to detect bottom dealing. When a crook has 4 hidden aces, you're in trouble. Now, with all the cards spread out, here is an example of cheating that requires the ultimate in card manipulation. John places 4 aces at random into the open deck. Then, by using every trick that you've seen and even some more that you haven't, he'll bring those aces out where he wants them. By pull-through shuffling, switch cutting, and second card and bottom card dealing, they all fall into place. Did you want the ace of clubs? How about the ace of diamonds? The ace of hearts? Spades. Did you get all those straight? Well, as usual, you were wrong. There's a fancy word for this. It's called prestidigitation. Once again, using the same simple fundamentals of... Don't bet on what you thought you saw. Now let's assume that Scarney is dealing stud or blackjack and has a queen up and a deuce in the hole. Did we say a deuce? A slow motion close-up allows you to observe what is much too quick for the unaided eye. The queen is being flipped into the palm. Scarney has the other hole card under his palm, and it takes just a fraction of a second to exchange them. A deuce is not a deuce, nor is a queen, as long as Scarney can get his hand over the whole card for the allotted moment of time. Since it's common practice to put your hand over the whole card switch can be used at will by the clever cheater. The moral of this cannot be emphasized enough. Never gamble at cards unless you know at least one of the players and can be sure that the game is honest. With long and constant practice, anyone can master these tricks. You must remember that some people use them to cheat. Let's go back to where we started, with a crooked dealer in the game of poker. Late in the game, the card sharp deals and everyone gets a tremendous fighting hand. But he deals himself an overwhelming royal flush, and his victims might just as well throw their money away. Don't let yourself get into a gentleman's game of chance. You might not run into an honest card sharp like John Scarney.
Wow.
I know, right? How many Scarney books do you have? I have like 5 of them.
I think I just have 2 of them.
I don't think I ever actually saw that clip before of him doing it.
I've never seen that clip before.
Never seen
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Whoa.
It seems like there was a lot more casual card playing back in the day.
Well, yeah. They didn't have streaming services, no internet.
I guess so. TV was like this big.
Right. It was. Right. That would have made that a quality production. If you were only watching that big, that would have been like crystal clear, right?
I mean, to have if to be in that era and have a video like that, you're a big star.
You know, Pip, it might have been the same announcer.
Yeah,
same
probably could have been. Yeah,
he did Reefer Madness. It might be the same guy. Probably the guy for the time, because wasn't it like the guy who was doing in like the 90s and the early 2000s that was doing like all the trailers? It was like the same guy. He was just riding around in a limousine going studio to studio to like do that.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he was like the guy. Right?
He was the guy.
And this guy was probably the guy in his time, right?
Yeah. How awesome is that?
Yeah, totally.
I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This weekend, Tom Hanks.
Right, that someone can make a whole career out of it. But now it's like a whole different thing. Like I know folks that do voiceover work, and it's essentially what we're doing. They're all doing it at home, and they send in files, right? Everyone's got a computer, so everyone's just sending files, and no one has to pay for studio time.
Yeah, now it's so easy. I mean, I was talking with somebody, and I said, in 1995, when I started Guitar Center, if you wanted to put a studio in your house, it was about $100,000. Okay. Maybe more, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe 150, depends. By the time I left, you'd buy like a laptop and some software, and for like way under $5,000, and you had like world-class digital studio in your house. Right. You know, and all you had to do is know what to do.
My brothers play music in bands, and they have band members that aren't in town with them. They just come into town and when they do shows, and they literally do everything through the computer and just share files, and everyone's just sharing all the stuff. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. We lost Steve, so it's just me now. There we go. So yeah, see, let me pin it on me so we don't even get that to pop over there. So there we are. So JOC, we saw John Scarney. Wonderful. Oh, and you're back.
I'm sorry, I was trying to tell you that was the boss, man.
That was the boss. We're okay. Everything's okay.
Yes, everything's okay.
All right, good.
The boss was calling me to
right, making sure that we're still doing the show and that we didn't like.
Yeah, he's like, I hope you didn't do the OC and the Scarney clips.
Because we were gonna do those together.
Yeah, we were gonna do those together, and
so we just
said since you ghosted us, we did them without you.
Yeah. So that's okay. They're busy selling playing cards, so
that's right, man. I'm sorry, you were talking. I interrupted you. I made the show so choppy, and just
it's all fine. I was just saying that the digital way is just the way it's done now. My brothers play music, and they do everything digitally with all their bandmates. Nothing is.
It's done so easy now.
Right, you don't have to be in person, and I'll waste all the gas and everybody. There are definitely times when they get together and rehearse, but they get a lot of work done just by doing it at home through the computer.
This is off topic.
Yeah.
But I just love those
topic, but yes.
Yeah. I just love those recordings, those records where it just sounds like they got everybody in the same room together and they just, went for it. Those are the ones, you know what I mean?
They have magic, right? That's the real magic stuff. And that's the thing you don't get with all this digital stuff is you don't get like the natural mistakes that sometimes like that little extra bit of space, hitting the wrong note and then going to the right note at the right, just that sweet spot. Sometimes that's the magic.
Not good. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, that's the problem with digital. You can get too digital with it.
You can get,
you can click the quantization and start moving things to notes, and it starts to lose that human feel,
Yeah. You start copying and pasting hunks of song, right? You're losing the magic. You're losing all the magic.
You're losing the magic, man. You're losing the magic. And that's why we're
seeing Tom Petty say it. He's like, man, we have all this great studio technology, but rock and roll is not supposed to be perfect.
Yeah, really.
It's the reason it's great. All those little imperfections are the things that that get ingrained in your brain and make those songs memorable.
One time I was hanging out with Brian Blush. He's playing a band called The Refreshments. They had a record on the radio for a while. Yeah. Okay. He worked for me for a while.
Okay.
And he'd be like tuning this guitar. I was like, I can't get a tune. I'm like, Brian, I've heard your records. You play way more out of tune than that.
Ouch. You have a lot of stories. You have a lot of stories like that. Like, hey, remember that famous band? Yeah, that guy came and worked in the guitar store.
Yeah. I think I've told you all of them. Ministry and all the
Ministry one tripped me out. Yeah, that's pretty good.
What the hell? Did I tell you when I sold Dwight Yoakam a guitar?
No, you didn't tell me about Dwight Yoakam buying a guitar.
Are we going into that now? Let's stop the recording and then I'll just.
All right. We'll stop there. But everyone, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
We had blast doing these things, and thanks for letting us be crazy and go off the rails when we, feel the whim to do so. And we'll see you all next time. Join us again for Afternoon Astonishments, and we'll have a great time then too. See y'all.